Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Sword of the Stars Control. Sword of the Stars Control is brought to you by Kerberos Games. It's for 35 players, ages 8 and up, and playtime ranges anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. Alright, come along with me as we jump into this fast-paced card game of galactic conquest. You are an aspiring warlord, trying to take over galactic sectors of space. The object here is to grab control of the planets in each sector using armies of specific factions in order to control those worlds and those populations. You'll also be using Spec OPS cards or action cards in order to spy on your fellow players, assassinate, espionage. You never know, you might even be able to pull some shields out that will protect you from nukes from your fellow players. In the end, it's whoever controls the most armies and the most population wins the game. This game is all about control. So you're trying to control these 6 planets. And each planet is unique. Each planet represents a certain alien type. And only that alien or that face card can land or occupy or invade this world. Along the edge is a tracker. This tracks the civilian population, and at the end of the game is going to add to your total score. And then we have the army cards. These army cards, there are 6 different types. Again, they correlate to the different planets, and they range in value from 2 to 9, and those will be the values that you'll use to calculate how you attack and defend each of those worlds. And then you have your Spec OPS cards, or basically your action cards throughout the game. These cards have a lot of take that in there, and you're going to be doing all kinds of things like stealing cards from folks' hands. You're going to be nuking worlds. You're going to be using shields to prevent those nukes, and using espionage and assassinations. And what's really nice is they provided this handy reference guide that really walks you through each of the available options, and there are 11 different types of action cards with different point values even, and their behaviors, you can even just draw extra cards from the main deck. So there's a lot of interesting choices here to be made throughout the game, and like I said, a lot of take that. Turns move really fast in this game. On your turn, there are 4 basic steps that you'll perform. 2 are optional and 2 are required. So the first thing that you do is draw cards from the main deck, and that is required. And then secondly, you have the option of using a Spec OPS card, which is your action cards, or doing an invasion action, which is taking over a planet or pulling one away from another player. We'll talk a little bit more about how that works in a sec. And then finally, your last action that you do on your turn is to discard down to 7 cards. 7 is the maximum cards you can hold in your hand. All right, what does it mean to invade a world? You're going to be going after these worlds, obviously, so you can hold on to them, control them until the end of the game, gaining you the most points, hopefully. And you'll be doing that by using your army cards that match the particular planet. And if you capture this world with a 7, it's yours, it moves in front of you. However, other players have the same types of armies in their hands. We're all aspiring warlords after all, and all they have to do is beat your 7. What happens to your armies once it is defeated? However many army cards are on this world turn into population, not their point value, just the number of cards. So if you take out 3 cards on this planet, then the population moves up by 3. So you need to strategically decide when you're going to swoop in and take those worlds, and hopefully gain some nice point value from doing so. All right, let's take a closer look at some of these Spec OPS or action cards. There's some really neat things going on here. Obviously, the big one, the one everyone might covet, might be the nuke. However, you have to be careful because the nuke will destroy the population of a planet in basically taking points away from you. However, if you're going to have to nuke someone because they've just become too powerful on any particular world, a great way to get past a shield, if they have one in place, is to sabotage that shield. And I find that a little more interesting than just doing a straight up nuke. And of course, reinforcing is really nice. So these cards have point values on them, telling you how much you can reinforce a planet. And really that's the only way to reinforce your army is if you use a Spec OPS or action card to reinforce that world. Again, having to be the same alien or same army type to reinforce the world. And again, making it harder for others to then steal it from you. And then of course there's things like assassination, where you're wiping out armies, basically assassinating generals or cards on particular worlds. So there's definitely a lot of strategic value in these Spec Op cards, and something to keep an eye on, and can be real game changers. And if you can chain them together in ways to make things happen over the course of turns, it really ends up being this powerful move and just really a fun game experience. And like I said, there is definitely a lot of take that in this game. So let's take a look at what a sample turn might look like. In a previous round, I have captured this world with a single card, a 5. And you can see it's the same army type as the world. So the first thing you do in your turn is you're going to draw 2 cards. And it looks like I got a training card, another war faction card. It's a 6. The training card is pretty slick. I add these cards to my hand. I could use this right now and draw 3 more cards. However, my world is feeling a little weak at the moment, so we're going to reinforce it. We're going to play a reinforce card. The number dictates how much I can reinforce, and I'm going to pull one of these and add to it. And this then will go to the discard pile. So, and that's pretty much how a turn goes. Then the last thing I do is check to see if I have more than 7 cards, and currently I only have 7 exactly. So this worked out perfectly. So next round I might use my training to get even more cards I can use on my turn. Alright, so how does the game come to an end? Basically, in the bottom of the deck somewhere, this Ceasefire card will appear. And whoever draws this card gets played immediately. And then there's one last round that everyone gets a chance to go or take one last turn. And then you're going to total up your points. You're going to total up your army's value plus the civilian value of each world, and whoever has the most points wins the game. Alright folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form. So keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now with that said, you know, this game moves really fast. It really is a fast-paced card game of galactic conquest. And I really did like the tug-of-war, the back and forth, how worlds change hands multiple times. And there's a lot of take that in this game. So, if this looks like a game that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they would appreciate your support. So I think that's it for me, and until next time folks, we'll see you at the table.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.